A very good morning to you on this 5th day of October. If you've reached us, you have reached the fifth connection, a channel on which we talk you through the storyline of the scriptures. And this morning we are in Ephesians chapter 5 and verse number 3. To be or not to be, that is the question in the mind of Shakespeare. It's on the mouth of the lips of Hamlet, but it's an expression of his mortality, to exist or not to exist. Well, the text that we are busy with, going from verse number 1 to verse number 6 of chapter 5, talks about being. 3 times in the text, in 6 verses. Let there be, therefore be. And then 4 times, not to be. What we are not to be, what we are called on not to be in the Christian life. Because you see, we tend to be in having mode and not being mode. We have things. We have patience. We have kindness. We have this. We have that. Instead of learning to switch into being something, being loving, being kind, being forgiving, being merciful. Because when you have things in having mode, you tend to tighten the grip of your fingers, metaphorically speaking, around that thing. But when you are in being mode, you can be all that you need to be. A husband would say, I have a wife. Well, so what? If he switches that and says, I am a husband to my wife, he's switching that into being mode. Being something to her and for her in all the climatic conditions of life, or that life would throw. And so when we look at the text, we are in verse 3. Because the writer has emphasized the need for high optionality. Grant other people high optionality. Afford them choices to be. Give them opportunities to be what God has called them to be. Don't stand in the way. If they need help, help them. If they need a tender word, give a tender word. But live in such a way that you are affording others choice and choices. Because we are loved of God and we can walk in love. We can conduct our lives with high affordance of choice. So that as people come at us and to us and move with us, they just sense we have their best well-being at heart. Well, now he shifts into verse 3. He says, but sexual immorality and all impurity or covetousness must not even be named among you, as is proper among saints. Now here's where we need great help and sustenance as believers, because we are living in a world that has gone berserk. A world that has gone totally bonkers. A world that has gone mad. If you don't believe that, just get out amongst people and kids and adults, and you'll see very quickly that we have lost the plot, or the degree to which we have lost the plot. Right here across the peninsula, we see it. High violent crime. Gangsterism is seeping into every crevice, every nook and cranny of our society. And now on top of it, the text says, but sexual immorality and all impurity or covetousness must not be named among you. You need to become very aware that What the society does is constantly busy. She is constantly busy trying to construct our identity for us. What we call identity construction. I say, where, Terry Martin, do you get that? It says, these things, these vices must not be named among you. When you name, you don't just call out, but you give an identity to something. Have you ever wondered why Adam is given the function to name animals? And watch how appropriately he names them. Well, he doesn't give them English names or Zulu names. We don't know the language on his lips at that point in time. But he names them appropriately according to their kind. Isn't that interesting? For a Mr. Baboon, there was a Mrs. Baboon. For Mr. Leo, there was a Mrs. Leo, as in lion. Identity construction is something that culture does and gives us, and we're so quick to purely have the culture identify us according to her whims and fancies. Sexual dystopia is wrecking and ruining our culture. Dystopia is this mess of misery and decay that is seeping into our very beings. We don't know what a woman is. Can scarcely define a man. A woman is off the charts when it comes to definition. What is a woman? You want to get people to squirm, the more leftist types, those who sort of think they really are open thinkers. Watch how they define gender. Sexual dystopia, that's what dystopia is. And all dirt, all impurity, or moral perversions. Covetousness is an amazing thing. It's something that happens inside you long before you commit the act. It's something that goes down in your mental framework that seeks to either kill or steal something or someone. Sexual dystopia, dirt, moral perversion. These must not have identity construction among you. As saints, they must not be part of your identity construction. Don't let people put you into their mold. More loose rendition of Romans 1 and 2. Don't let the world around you squeeze you into the same old mold, but let God remold your life. And that's what this text talks about. That your transformation, that your inoculation, your staying away from that which is dystopic and dirty and perverted, your transform must be in accord with those who are differentially transformed. The text says this must not be named among you, as is proper among saints. What is proper among saints? Differentially being transformed. Differential transformation. And it is proper that we not allow the culture to identity construct us. There are some things that do not carry morality to them, such as the kind of food I eat and taste and the drinks that I drink. But when it comes to morality, don't allow this world around you squeeze you into its mold. And that happens very, very subtly. Have you listened to the saints? They sound just like the ain'ts. Their vocabulary, the words they use, the cursing they use, exactly the picture of what's happening in the culture. Where's the difference? It's not proper. for sexual dystopia, dirt, and moral perversions. It's not proper to have that shape our identity, because that is not in accordance with being differentially transformed. You see, God had a very distinct product in mind, something that is transformed and transforming, so that as you head to 70 or 80 or 90, you are still changing. Yes, you are busy dying. That's a reality you won't escape. But you are busy transforming. Paul says, though the outer man is dropping away, it's falling away, it's decaying, the inner man is being renewed moment by moment by moment by moment. Are you better today than you were yesterday when it comes to your moral servitude, your moral construction? What's happening on the inside of you? Are you changing? He's changing you to be a better man, a better woman. But are you given to his kinds of change for your life? We are very keenly reminded in this text of what it is about. Identity transformation must be impacted and oriented by the scriptures. How does the scriptures orient me? It affords me movement. It affords me transformation in a non-drifting kind of way. I'm not cut loose just to drift, but I'm going and moving in the flow of reality in the midst of what God is doing, allowing or disallowing, shaping, and the like in me and through me. And so this morning you will have opportunities again. When you face the white heat of the world with all its dystopia and dirt and perversion, is your goal to become a first-class perv or to become a first-class differentially transformed one? Those are two very, very different things. One is purely shaped by the culture and where the culture is going. The other one is shaped by the transcendent, by God, and the allowances that I am opening up to in my own life for him to posture me in a way to make the greatest impact that I can. You may be hiding away in your little corner, maybe your home, maybe a little spot that you take refuge to far too often because you're scared of life and living. Well, you're going to be facing the white heat today in many different ways. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for what is proper for those who are differentially transformed today? I trust that as you go with God, you will go into this day with a mindfulness that we are to walk in love because we are loved by God, and we can open up to others in unique ways, in beautiful ways, ways that can change people's lives for eternity. I trust that as you go with God, your life will be blessed. Goodbye for now.